A serendipitous encounter. In the bustling heart of Los Angeles lived a young woman named Maya. At just 24 years old, she had a quiet strength in her eyes, a look that spoke of a life lived far beyond her years. Every morning, before the sun crested the horizon, she would tie back her dark hair with a simple scarf, pull on her worn work boots, and make the long trek to a dusty construction site a few miles away. Maya was an extraordinary worker. She hoisted heavy cement blocks onto her shoulders, mixed concrete with shovel, and pushed wheelbarrows laden with sand, all without a single word of complaint. Her days were spent toiling under the relentless California sun, earning a living the hard way. Life had dealt her a tough hand. When she was just 12, her parents had been tragically killed in a car accident. With no close family to take them in, Maya was left to raise her two younger siblings, Leo, then 8, and Chloe, just 6. In an instant, she became their sole provider, their mother, father, and their anchor at first. She sold homemade bread by the roadside, then took on odd jobs washing clothes for neighbors. When that wasn't enough, she pleaded with a local foreman to teach her the basics of construction work. This was how she found herself carrying blocks and mixing cement, a life she never imagined. But no matter how difficult things became, she never lost hope. In moments of exhaustion, she would find a quiet corner on the site, look up at the sky, and whisper a silent prayer. One day, things will change. She had no idea how close that change truly was. Across town, in the upscale hills of Beverly Hills, lived a young billionaire named Julian. He was 30 tall and exceptionally private. His face was a common sight on the covers of magazines, and his name was synonymous with success. He owned 2 massive tech companies, one headquartered in California and the other in London. Everyone knew him for his wealth, but few knew the man behind the fortune. Julian avoided the noisy social scene, distrusted the insincere smiles of those who surrounded him, and preferred solitude. Though he was born into immense wealth, his mother, a gentle soul with kind eyes, had always taught him, respect everyone, no matter their station in life. True wealth is how you treat others. He took her words to heart. Despite his money, luxury car, and extravagant homes, a profound emptiness lingered in Julian's heart. He had yet to find a woman who saw him for who he was, not for what he possessed. Many beautiful, accomplished women had come and gone, but their affection always felt conditional. Julian longed for a genuine partner, a woman of virtue who understood struggle and saw beyond the superficial. Unbeknownst to him, that woman was now just a few miles away, and fate was about to bring their 2 vastly different worlds crashing together in an unexpected way. After a decade of non-stop work, Julian had decided to take a quiet vacation in Los Angeles. He sought 2 months of simple moments, no flashy displays, just a chance to relax and check on some of his local real estate investments. One morning, he woke up feeling a rare sense of peace. He decided to do some shopping and then inspect one of his properties. Dressed simply in a plain blue t-shirt, jeans, and a baseball cap, he drove himself in his regular black SUV. I just need to breathe today, he thought. As he grabbed his keys, he stopped at a nearby supermarket, not far from the land he planned to visit. Inside, he picked up a few snacks, drinks, and toiletries. He smiled at the cashier, paid for his items, and carefully slid his sleek black leather wallet into his back pocket. As he walked toward his car, the wallet slipped out without him noticing. It contained everything. His international driver's license, 2 foreign credit cards, his California ID, important business cards, and over $2,000 in cash. Completely unaware, Julian got into his car, took a slow drink of water, and started the engine. That same morning, Maya was walking to construction site when a pang of hunger struck her. She decided to make a quick stop at the supermarket for a soda and a snack, counting the few dollars in her bag to make sure she had enough. After her purchase, she stepped outside and her eyes landed on something near the parking lot, a black wallet. She stopped, scanning the area, but no one seemed to be looking for anything. She bent down slowly and picked it up. It felt heavy. Inside, she saw a large amount of foreign currency documents and business cards. Her eyes widened. "Oh, who could have left this here?" she whispered to herself. She took a step back, opening the wallet to see the business cards. She pulled one out, but saw only an international number with no local contact. She tried dialing it, but the call wouldn't go through. For a moment, the thought of the immense value in her hands crossed her mind, but an unwavering sense of integrity stopped her. She walked back inside, straight to the cashier. "Excuse me," she said. "I found this wallet outside. I think someone must have dropped it." The cashier looked at her in surprise. "You mean someone left this kind of wallet? And you're returning it?" Maya nodded. "Yes. Please give it to your head of security. When the owner comes back, please give it to him." The cashier stared at her, then broke into a smile. "You're a very good person. Thank you." Maya handed over the wallet and left, walking toward her job without a second thought. Meanwhile, at a gas station down the road, Julian pulled over. The attendant approached with a smile. "Fill up, sir?" he asked. "Yes, please," Julian replied. "Cash or card?" "Card," Julian said, reaching for his back pocket. It was empty. He paused, checking his other pockets. Nothing. A cold panic began to set in. He searched the front seat, under the dashboard, and in his bag. Still nothing. His heart hammered in his chest. "My wallet," he muttered, his face paling. He looked at the attendant. "Please give me a minute." He jumped back into his car and sped toward the supermarket, his mind racing. "Please, God, let it be there," he whispered. "Please." He pulled into the parking lot and rushed inside, going straight to the cashier. "Excuse me. I was here about an hour ago, and I think I lost my wallet. Did anyone find it?" The cashier looked at him. "You're the man who bought the snacks, right?" "Yes, that's me," Julian said, trying to stay calm. The cashier nodded. "Yes, a young woman found it just after you left. She returned it to our head of security." Julian sighed in deep relief. "Thank God. Can I speak with him?" The cashier called for security officer, a tall man named Mr. Anderson. "Good morning, sir," Mr. Anderson said. "I lost my wallet this morning," Julian explained. "The cashier said someone found it and gave it to you." "Yes, sir," Mr. Anderson replied. "But do you have proof it's yours?" Julian quickly detailed the contents, his business cards, his name, Julian Sterling, and a small passport photo. Mr. Anderson opened the wallet, verified the details, and handed it back. Julian slowly opened it. Everything was there, the cash, the documents, the cards. Not a single thing was missing. "Where is she?" he asked, his voice filled with gratitude. The cashier smiled. She didn't say much. She just came to buy a few things, saw the wallet, and brought it in. She didn't even wait for a thank you. Julian was stunned. He asked for a pen and paper, wrote down his phone number, and gave it to the cashier. "Please," he said, "if she ever comes back, give her this. Tell her to call me." He handed a generous tip to both the cashier and Mr. Anderson. As he walked back to his car, he scanned the parking lot, hoping to catch a glimpse of the woman. But she was gone. A feeling of profound respect and intrigue settled in his heart. 3 weeks later, Maya returned to the supermarket to buy groceries for her siblings. Pushing her cart through the entrance, she was lost in thought and didn't notice the cashier waving at her. "Excuse me, ma'am," the cashier called. A fellow shopper gently tapped Maya's arm. "Hello, the cashier is calling you." Maya turned around slowly. The cashier approached with a warm smile. "I'm so sorry to bother you, but someone asked me to give you this." She handed Maya a folded piece of paper. Maya froze, her fingers tightening around it. "Who gave you this?" she asked. The cashier's smile widened. "The man whose wallet you returned weeks ago. He said if you ever came back, I should give it to you." Maya's heart fluttered. She had long since forgotten about the incident, never expecting any kind of reward. She softly thanked the cashier, folded the paper, and continued her shopping, but her mind was now preoccupied with the number in her hand. When she got home, she carefully placed the paper inside the shopping bag. That evening, her sister Chloe, while tidying up, gathered all the used bags and threw them in the outdoor trash bin, completely unaware of the small but significant piece of paper inside. By the time Maya remembered, it was too late. The next morning, she searched her handbag, then her shopping bag. "Blessing," she called, using her sister's nickname. "Please help me find the bag I came back with yesterday." There's a small paper inside it. Chloe's face fell. Is it important? I already threw it away. Maya's eyes widened in dismay. She ran barefoot to the large green trash bin on the corner, but it was empty. The garbage truck had already passed. She stood there frozen, her heart sinking. Tears welled in her eyes, but she quickly wiped them away. She took a deep breath, telling herself, if it's meant to be, it will happen. She considered going back to the supermarket to ask for the number again, but a sense of pride stopped her. She didn't want to seem desperate. She walked slowly back home, still holding a quiet hope deep in her heart. 2 weeks passed, and life continued as usual. Then, one Saturday morning, a neighbor knocked on her door. Maya, she said, there's a community outreach event at the town hall. They're giving out free food and school supplies. It's sponsored by a big real estate company. You should go with your siblings. Maya nodded. Let's go. The event was crowded but orderly. Volunteers handed out food and beverages. As Maya turned to leave, she noticed a familiar face at the refreshment table. It was the cashier from the supermarket. The woman looked up, squinted, and then her face broke into a bright smile. Ah, you. You're the one who returned the wallet, right? Maya smiled back. Yes, ma'am, but I lost the number you gave me. The cashier's smile grew even wider. She leaned in and whispered, he's here. The man is sponsoring this whole event. Maya's heart leaped. Her eyes quickly scanned the crowd. Was this the moment she had been waiting for? The cashier pointed gently toward a black SUV parked quietly at the edge of the field. That's him, she said. He's sitting in that SUV. Let me go tell him you're here. Maya quickly shook her head. No, please, there's no need for that, she said softly. I didn't come here for that. But the cashier had already turned and was walking purposefully toward the SUV. Maya stood there, her heart pounding. Just moments later, the cashier approached the car, spoke to the man inside, and pointed in her direction. The man stepped out. It was Julian. Their eyes met across the field. He walked toward her slowly, a gentle smile on his face. I finally get to meet you, he said in a calm, rich voice. Maya smiled shyly. Good afternoon, sir. What's your name? He asked. I'm Maya, she said, her voice soft but clear. Julian nodded. You have no idea how long I've been trying to find you. Maya looked at the ground and confessed, I lost a number. My sister accidentally threw it away. Julian smiled. I'm sorry about that, but maybe this was a mistake. Maybe we were meant to meet here. He looked at her kindly. How did you hear about this event? A neighbor told me, she replied. I'm really glad you came, he said, pulling out his phone. Please, type your number in here. Maya carefully entered her number, and he gave her a missed call so she could save his. Please call me when you get home, he said gently. Okay, sir, she replied, her voice full of joy. Before she left, Julian reached into his car and handed her a small envelope. Just a little something, he said, for your groceries. Maya's eyes filled with tears of gratitude. She clutched the envelope to her chest. Thank you, sir. God bless you. He smiled and turned back to the event organizers. Maya walked away toward the bus stop, her heart feeling lighter than it had in years. As she boarded a small yellow bus, she found a seat, placing her bag on her lap. When the bus slowed for her stop, she rummaged in her bag for money, taking her phone out and placing it on her lap for a moment. In the rush to get off, she forgot the phone. The bus pulled away, and her phone rolled unnoticed to the floor. She had no idea what she had just lost. When she got home, she reached for her bag, wanted to call Julian to thank him again, and realized her phone was gone. She sank to the floor, her eyes stinging with unshed tears. God, you are faithful, she whispered, still holding on to her faith. That night, Julian lay awake in his large bedroom, a strange mix of excitement and unease. He smiled, remembering Maya's quiet strength. He wanted to hear her voice again. He picked up his phone and dialed her number, but it went straight to a message. The number you have dialed is currently switched off. He tried again, still off. Maybe her battery is dead, he thought. He waited. Try again the next morning. Still no luck. A deep worry began to set in. Had she blocked him? Had something happened? The next day, He drove back to the supermarket, hoping the cashier might know where she lived, but she didn't. Julian left, more confused than ever. 2 days later, Julian decided to visit a relative to clear his mind. While driving along a quiet street, he saw an elderly woman sitting by a small wooden fruit stand. She was slumped against the wall, sleeping. Her face looked incredibly familiar. He slowed down, his heart quickening as he got closer. "Mommy," he whispered, a name he had not said in years. He pulled over and got out. The woman woke up, startled and frightened. "Please, who are you?" she asked. Julian smiled gently. "It's me, Julian, the son of Andrew, the son of Eleanor." Her eyes widened. She stood, searching his face, then covered her mouth with both hands. "My son," she cried, embracing him tightly. "You've grown so much. I used to be your nanny many years ago." Julian held her hands. "Mommy, what are you doing here?" The woman sighed. "It's a long story, my son." Julian helped her into his car and drove her to his home, giving her a warm room, fresh clothes, and a good meal. The next morning, he sat with her, and she told him her story, of losing the money his parents had given her, of her business failing, and of being robbed and losing her home. Tears streamed down Julian's face as he listened. "All this happened to you," he whispered. He vowed she would never beg again. He immediately called his head engineer. "I have a special job for you," Julian said. "I want you to build a simple but solid 4-bedroom house. It needs to be ready in 2 months. It's for someone very special." The engineer agreed, and construction began the next week in a peaceful, quiet part of town. Weeks later, Julian visited the site to check on the progress. The walls were already standing tall. As he walked toward the structure, a young woman in a dusty scarf and old t-shirt walked past, a heavy block balanced on her head. Julian froze. His heart raced. He squinted. "Wait," he whispered. "Could that be her?" He called out softly, "Maya." The woman stopped and turned slowly. Her eyes met his. "Sir?" she said, her voice trembling. "You again?" They stood there, both stunned. Julian took a step closer. "You know," he began quietly, "the day I was told a young woman returned my wallet with all that money, I was stunned. I wanted to reward you." He paused, looking at her, a construction worker covered in sweat and dust. "But to see you here, carrying blocks under the sun, doing a man's work, and to know you returned that money without a second thought, it makes me even more intrigued." In a calm but firm voice, he said, "Right now, I need you to drop that block and come with me." Maya's fingers tightened around block, her eyes fixed on him, filled with questions and uncertainty. She had no idea what he had planned, or what this moment would mean for her future. Was this the beginning of their love story? The story was about to continue, and Julian was now in a position to change her life forever.